What's up, guys? Rolling Wolf here. Been getting quite a few requests for some videos, so I figured I'd get started here. Do a couple trade recaps from this week, and we'll start with YUMA here. You can see my commentary. It was a junker with huge morning spike, low float. Bought mid-afternoon after a big pullback from the highs, followed by some bottoming action and a couple of higher lows and higher highs. Sold into strength into the close as it was up 200% with no real catalyst. I liked the short squeeze setup but kept size minimal due to lack of catalyst and the fact that it was still overextended on the day. Same reasons I didn't hold overnight. Take the meat of the move. We got 4,000 shares at 149 and our exit was at a $2 average. So we'll go ahead and get into the charts here. So here's the daily chart for YUMA. This is a 1-year daily chart, and you can see it's just been beaten down from the high threes down to a fresh low on the Friday before, 77 cents. And then here's the Monday. This is when I was trading it, and it was a monster move. You know, it's basically a 200% move, 80 cents to a high of 235. And let's get into the chart some more. Here's a 5-minute chart, and yeah, here's that day right there. Here's that morning spike, which I missed. I missed this entire spike, and even had I caught it, I probably wouldn't have played it. It was just straight up. This is a 5-minute chart, by the way, and it was just straight up that morning. And I was in some overnight positions. I definitely missed it. Cool thing is you don't have to catch the morning spike. It's kind of tough to catch some of these, and even if you do catch them, they can pull back so quickly. I mean, it's pretty tough to play these morning spikes unless you're in overnight. So anyways, so the morning you got a spike up to 170, and then a pretty big pullback, down to the 120s. So once the pullback came, I was watching this, and then I'm looking for a new setup, and that's what's kind of cool about these. I mean, this should be on everyone's radar when it's up 100% on the day. So it's not like it's some hidden stock that you need to find or some scanner secret or something. It just was the biggest gainer that morning. So you get this pullback down to the 120s, and then it tried again. You had it, but it got stuffed. And then it starts making higher lows, so you have this set of lows and this high right here. Then it comes back down and sets a new low, and that's kind of the pattern I like looking for on these. It's basically an ABCD pattern, very basic. You get the spike, the pullback, and then it starts to kind of grind up and curl back up. And I'd like to buy, on any of these dips approaching this high. I'm not necessarily waiting to break this high a day. And the cool thing is it's a pretty safe strategy. It's good for beginners too, because if you buy any of these dips, you can just risk off the one before. So you have a really, really defined risk, which is important, and it's nice. It gives you a sense of security, I guess you could say. Anyway, so we got this set of lows and a high. Then we have this set of lows here, and then it makes a new high, approaching the high a day. So this is where I took my position, and I took my position here when it was another set of lows. I bought this candle, and actually, if we go to the 1-minute chart, it'll kind of show a little bit better, I think. Let's see here. Here we go. Here's the 1-minute chart of that day, and that's when I'm picking my entries and exits, I'm always using the 1-minute chart. But when I'm trying to figure out the pattern, I like to look back at the 5 or 15-minute charts when you're getting towards midday in the afternoon. So here you go. Here's this first low here. Tries again. Here's this second low right here. And here's a new high approaching that high a day. So here's my entry on this candle as it starts to come back up, and it was good.
What city would you like to get weather for?
Okay, watch. That's weird. Watch is listening to me. Anyways, so here's my entry here. And I'll actually, let's see. So here's the high of day break at 170. Now I didn't sell any into this. I probably could have, but I was just trying to respect my risk. My risk was actually this first low back here. What was the low here? 127. So yeah, I was risking the 120s or so, 4,000 shares, and so we get a high day break, which kind of rejects. But I was trying to be patient. I held on. It didn't even come close to my risk level. It got pretty close to my entry, but after that, then we got a follow through, and it did rip. Volume really came in towards the end of the day here, and I sold into this kind of parabolic move, this kind of big volume. I was selling. This got up to 220, but I was selling into these two candles basically. It was 4,000 shares, and I think I sold into two chunks and got out at a $2 average. So that was pretty good. I was actually really happy with that. If you look at the 5-minute chart especially, you can see that nice parabolic spike here. And I did, and that's where I exited. I didn't catch the whole thing. I got as high as 235 later in the day, but I'm not going to complain about that. I didn't hold overnight because it was, it's 200% up at this point on no news, and it was a good decision. I mean, you got a pretty big gap down, and kind of a morning panic as well. But that brings me to the next trade, because here's that second day. You got a gap down here and a panic. Got as low as 150. And the thing to keep in mind is that these things usually aren't dead when you get a nice spike like this. You need to keep track of them, because there may be some action in the future, and it's usually within a couple days possibly. So this was back on my watch list. Well, it was never left my watch list, but it was back on my watch list after this day right here. This was the Wednesday, and reason being is because it actually set a higher low here that day and finished even a little bit higher. It looked like it was having some trouble dying. So I was looking into it for the Thursday. And if we get into the chart for the Thursday, let's see. By the way, I was looking for it to break this first initial high. So here's Monday, Tuesday. Here's the Thursday here. And you can see it was, let's see. Here's Thursday. So I missed the morning spike on this too. I mean, I was in other plays, and I just missed it. But you got a great spike here. This is the 5-minute chart, so I'll go to the 1-minute chart so you can see my entry a little bit better. This move was straight up. I mean, it scared me. That's why I was a bit conservative with it. It was hard to find a nice defined place to risk off of. And let's see here. Here we go. So just to give you a kind of a sense of how I played it. So here's that morning spike. 235 was the resistance from Monday. So that's the level I was watching once I missed all of this right in here. I didn't necessarily want to chase it into that. And so on this candle, on the 1-minute chart, it did break 235. It got as high as 242, and I did not take an entry just because it was too straight up. And I'm happy because you got a big pullback here on this second candle, back down to the 220s, and that would have freaked me out. Probably would have just cut losses quickly for a small loss, but it would have shaken me out most likely. Anyways, but when it held this and then started ripping back through that resistance, that is when I took a position here. I got a 238 entry, and let's see. Yeah, I got a 238 entry, And I didn't hold on to this long. Again, I was a little impatient just because the move was so fast and straight up there was no consolidation there. And so I was selling, I bought the break, and I was selling pretty immediately a couple minutes later, just into these spikes and this action in here. It was kind of topping, it looked like to me, so I got a little freaked out and sold. Could have been more patient, but this was just a really overextended chart. It did get higher though. I mean, it got up to $3 basically. So I left some on the table there, but all in all, it was a good week with YUMA. I made about $3,000, and you'll never hear me complain about that. So it's a good lesson. I mean, you get a runner like this that's not dying, there's possibility for a short squeeze. But when it's junk like this, I mean, you just don't want to overstay your welcome. This is the Friday, and I'd imagine there will be quite a bit more downside on this, unless something else happens. But it'll still be on my radar because, these things can continue to make new highs. You never know. But that's all for this. That's all for YUMA. Got a couple good trades out of it. And yeah, we'll make some more videos coming up here in the future. So if you liked it, let me know. If there's anything in particular you'd like me to make a video on, or any trades or whatever, just shoot me a comment, and I'll do my best to keep them coming. So just leave a comment, like I said, and I'll catch you guys in the chat this week. All right, have a good one.